Great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Thursday, July 23, year of our Lord 2026. We are an American band. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, broadcasting today from the United States of America, the place for the brave. Like the veterans we will salute today, thanks to John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group. Like Philip Pothiski, Greenfield Township. William Cooner, Whippany, late Whippany, New York, but he was from Scranton. And Doris Daniels, Wilkes-Barre. Veterans we've lost this year, but salute today, thanks to John. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our amazing, irreplaceable, and profoundly wise founding fathers who knew that government should not be and set about to make sure it could not be our parent, our guide, our salvation, our direction, not any of these things, because they knew that government power meant less freedom, less liberty, and less choice for Americans. They also knew that human nature would abuse that power. The United States of America, the country where for the first time in human history, freedom was declared by law to be an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. Freedom couldn't be parceled out to groups. It couldn't be controlled by government or government officials because our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and even freedom of the press, no matter how it's abused. Now, because of that fact, they were armed with these freedoms, and only because of that, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, these Americans, many of them rejects from around the world, they and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro Show, well, it'll always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And yes, the double entendre is intended. And so, we gavel to order today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our total, immersive, immovable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here for the balance of this singular, extraordinary morning. Yep. Guys, we are excited to be here. Happy to be with you here. Rich McKell texting in. He says, love that Paige Cognetti reel. Somebody had sent me, or I found. I've been talking about our friend Paige, awful mayor of Scranton, and like how phony it all is. And apparently someone had done a song parody of Paige, and it doesn't translate to radio. But if you go on Facebook, I've posted it, and hopefully it'll get a bunch of shares so that it'll get to you. But I said to whoever did it, I said, whoever you are, do more, because this phony bullspit has got to be exposed. It just has to be. I mean, dear God, she's dying to be a member of the squad. Absolutely dying to be a member of the squad. We discovered this week through Rob O'Donnell, our afternoon guy, that a transgender sicko, I don't know if he's transgender, but remember, most of the sickos aren't. But this transgender person who wants to do this gender affirming care, the child mutilation, he did a fundraiser for Paige. and saying how great she is. Well, that's because Paige is on board with every left-wing lunatic issue, including children mutilation, in support of the lunatic fringe of the transgender community. Lunatic fringe. And I tell you this often because in my life experience has been fairly broad. I know and knew transgender people. They're just trying to get along. They're not trying to hurt anybody. They have a problem, and they're dealing with it as best they can. They don't need sick, agenda-driven adults like this clown Goodman who threw the fundraiser for Paige, and they don't need Paige and the Democrat Party permanently mutilating them as children. It's an adult decision on how to live your life. But I'm telling you, please don't let her lie to you. It infuriates me. Look, if you're a left-wing lunatic, Paige, which you are, you're all in on a transgender, tell the families of female athletes that you want trans men to perform against them, be in their lockers, be in their bathrooms. Just tell everybody. Tell people who have a gender dysphoric child that you want them mutilated permanently. Don't wait. No, let's not wait until they become sexually mature. No, this is the sick, twisted agenda of Paige Cognetti. And on top of that, she's a horrendous mayor. Absolutely horrendous. One of the great listeners pointed out, because I pointed out the issue, but I didn't know the cost, $300,000 to paint lines, crosswalks throughout the city before the mayoral election to make it look like she did something. And now they're either covered over or they've faded away. Navy guy asking, did Paige ever sign the front of a paycheck? Never. Another, Bob, it's kind of funny, Bernie and Paige talking about oligarchs, billionaires, yet they're the ones getting the money from them. I know, ALTS back at you. It's insane. Somebody said, did you see Paige's commercial on Fox? I throw up in my mouth. Oh, it's disgusting. This is the woman who took 15 grand, by the way, plus what they helped raise and political support from officials of Fidelity Bank, and I love Fidelity Bank. 15 grand she takes, and then spends $2 million on a white elephant they couldn't get rid of, and that Scranton did not need. Now, why do I say Scranton didn't need the building? Because we have a police headquarters. And the fig leaf thrown on this was so she could return the favor 1,000-fold to her pals who gave her the money. The return of the favor of $2 million on 15 grand given to her mayoral campaign. Oh, and support also. By the way, she helped get a $5 million grant for their downtown headquarters. Boy, did this pay off. I'm telling you, the Fidelity guys are geniuses. You get a return. They can't get a return on that kind of money. 15 grand for for $7 million? Not bad. You get $7 million back for 15 grand. Fantastic. And so Paige talking about corruption. She has the nerve to talk about corruption. And yes, it gets worse. It gets worse. She does her anti-corruption press conference. Standing next to her is a woman who stole $60,000, convicted and went to prison. $60,000 from Wyoming Area School District. So there's incompetence with lunacy. The combination, it's lethal for us. And on top of that, Mayor Mamdani's people His image people are doing Page's stuff. And, and then it gets worse. Graham Plattner's campaign team is now helping Paige Cognetti. Wow. It's absolutely insane. Somebody asked, can you ask Paige what her thoughts are on the Biden banner? You know what her thoughts are on the Biden banner? She named the expressway for him, and she stole Spruce Street from us. It's a national embarrassment as people drive by the city of Scranton. They see that we think Joe Biden's great, the worst president in the history of the country, the most corrupt president in the history of the country. We think he's great. We love being associated with him. Thank you, Paige, and her fellow left-wing idiot, the boy king Billy Gaughan. Unbelievable. It really is scary. And by the way, if you're a left-wing lunatic, first of all, I feel sorry for you, and I pray for you, and I really do, because you're screwed up. Sorry. But if you're a left-wing lunatic, you should be livid that Paige is ashamed of her left-wing lunacy. She's hiding from issues. The border, the open border, which she supported completely. Now she's got doubts about it. Never said a word when it was happening, but no, now she has doubts about it. And all of the left-wing agenda, she's denying it. Problem is, people on the left wing, lunatics like this Goodman clown from Bala Cynwyd, who threw her a fundraiser because she is going to help him mutilate children. Yep. All right. Well, I've started off on fire and in a lather, and so that means we've got to take a break. We got to hear from our sponsors, because without them, we don't have a show. And starting off, you could check this program out, and I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit, but I've got my Camp Freedom shirt on today. And you go to YouTube and you go Bob Cordaro Show, WILK, and it's brought to you by Roach Supply. Roach Supply is the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. 75 years in business. 96-year-old Ron Roach doing the thing. And visit Roach Supply, R-O-C-H-E, roachsupply.com today, or go to their store in Honesdale or their sister store that they also own, Chapman Supply in South Abington Township, and you'll find out why they're in business 75 years, because they're great. We'll be back. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, this day, as with every day, dutifully, proudly, patriotically, brought to you by our man, John Basiliga. It's Thursday. That means we're going to be going out. Maybe you, maybe me, but maybe all of us. And we need a place to go. We want a place to go. We want it to be great. We want it to be clean. We want it to be fun. We want it to have a little class. Well, Basiliga Hospitality has the answer. 3 great bar restaurants. The Old Brook Inn, 307, Springbrook Township. The Queen City Tavern on the main drag, downtown Oliphant. The Far Street Tavern on Far Street in the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton. And you want a little nightlife? Yeah, you can get it tonight at Sergei's, no cover, downtown, right underneath the amazing Atera 519, which I will check out all weekend. Atera 519, new menu, new chef, new pricing, the whole package, and an amazing, affordable happy hour in one of the most beautiful settings you will ever see. Atera 519 in the Stegmeyer Mansion, an old world take on the same amazing dining and cocktail experience. South Franklin Street, Wilkes-Barre. Philip Podhiski, Greenfield Township. He was 96. We lost him July 16th. Preceded in death by his wife of 57 years, the former Rose Mary Malinchak, who died in 2016. Born in 1930 in Mayfield. He was a graduate of Mayfield High School and served all of us in the Army during the Korean War. He operated a gas and service station in Mayfield where he met his future wife when she rode in on a Triumph motorcycle to fill up. For many years, he was a self-employed water well driller, worked with his brother as a Teamsters truck driver, and also worked as a tractor-trailer instructor for NTI. He'll be fondly remembered as a loving husband, father, and grandfather. Survived by one son, his wife, 2 daughters, 2 grandchildren, 2 step-grandchildren, 5 step-great-grandchildren, nieces, nephews. Philip Podhiski, our great veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and the Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast brought to you by the gang at Montage Mountain Resort. Montage, when you're thinking about the weather, you got to think, well, what's happening at Montage? Well, what's happening at Montage is a great water park. You want to talk about relaxing and fun, and for the kids and some of us, they put together an amazing arcade inside the lodge. Great stop. Today, plenty of sunshine with low humidity, perfect water park day. Start of a stretch of dry weather, high 81. Tonight, clear, low 54. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, 84 degrees, low 58, another water park day. Saturday, mostly sunny. Beautiful start to the weekend, high 85, low 60. I don't know who starts their weekend on a Saturday. I guess AccuWeather does. We start tonight. Sunday, clouds and sun with a thunderstorm around the afternoon, high 86, low 62. Monday, more humid with blend of suns and clouds, a thunderstorm in the area in the afternoon, high 87, low 69. It is water park week at Montage, the weather cooperating nicely. 65 degrees at Montage Mountain right now. Oh, I got to laugh. I'll tell you in a second. But that's the Kinks. Murph tells us this date, 1965, they performed their hit You Really Got Me on ABC TV. The show was called Where the Action Is. Bob Cordaro back. I don't know if I'm going to play the clip, but here the point is the point. My man Mark Mayer sent me. John Fetterman, and I've told you I like him. I would never vote for him for United States Senate until he completely renounces his former Bernie bro status. Anyway, he says to Mondani, the scumbag mayor of New York, he says, "You're mad at Bibi Netanyahu. You know all the controversy about he's going to arrest Bibi, and then he finds out he can't, and all phony, performative, left-wing stuff, just like our mayor, who shares campaign staff with Mamdani. Just that should be enough for you to know." He says, "You're mad at Bibi because he killed terrorists you admire." Love it. I mean, truth in your face. Absolute in your face truth. Now, council had a meeting last night. Now, unfortunately, they did not rescind. They still have time. They did not rescind the purchase of the Fidelity Building on downtown Scranton, which is a disgusting reward for Paige's campaign contributors. Her old boy network. See, she says she's against the machine, but she's the machine. Liar, phony, disgusting. Anyway, Sean McAndrew was angry about something Paige had screwed up. Bulldog, you got the clip? Play it. That's the mayor screwing up again. But it's only a child with cancer. It's only a fundraiser for a child with cancer. Let the showmobile sit at Weston Park instead of moving it a block because she's incompetent. You see what's going on here? It's unbelievable. I'm telling you, if it was only left-wing lunacy, I would be exorcised. But it's more than that. It's left-wing lunacy that she's lying about, which gets you more angry. And then she's incompetent. She's a horrible mayor. It does not care about the city one whit. Not at all. On good authority, she doesn't even live in Scranton. Quite amazing. Somebody texts in, there's a meme, Navy guys text in. He says there's a meme saying Rob made stock trades right before Medicare cuts. Problem is no cuts were passed. I know. Every commercial, every word out of her lips is a lie. That's what the left has to do. They practice taqiyya along with their Islamist friends and allies. Lie if it advances the ball for your left-wing agenda. Lie. But no big deal. Just lie. There were no Medicare cuts, no Medicaid cuts. By the way, if there were Medicare cuts, who are you going to invest in? What stock are you going to trade? The federal government? Do they have a stock I don't know about? See, they just make it up. Poet Joe trying to be a comedian. Let's see. In reference to my Haitian clip. Good morning, Bob. It's Poet Joe. I personally never ate cat, but the little town where my dad comes from, they called them meow rabbits. Okay. Poet Joe, you've got to stick to poetry. You're out. All right? Oh, Lord. 9:44 on my Bacardo's watch. Let us take a break. We will hear from our great sponsors, and we'll come back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. I don't know where he finds this stuff. Sam Sham and the Pharaohs. They moved from number 9 to number 3 this date, 1966, with their hit Little Red Riding Hood. I gotta mention this because what came on my monitor while we were in commercial break was that sickening, lying, scummy Paige Cognetti commercial made by the Mamdani and Graham Plattner people. Now, number one, it's lying about Rob Bresnahan. It's sickening. absolutely sickening, and they are unashamed because they're scum. They put in, here's the balls of it. In there's film and conversation about the Kids for Cash scandal, the judges. Paige Cognetti said nothing when one of the Kids for Cash judges was pardoned by Joe Biden. Her pal said nothing. Oh, she's deeply embroiled in the Kids for Cash. She's part of that. And she brings it up in her commercial. Do you see how sickening the leftists are? And do you see what a leftist she is? A communist. She has film in this commercial with Jeffrey Epstein, who has nothing to do with Republicans, number one, Rob Brezan, number two. She puts Jeffrey Epstein in the commercial. Now, if that's not sickening, scumbag lying, I don't know what is. That is a disgrace. That commercial should be taken off the air. Paige and her sickening Mamdani assistants, her sickening Graham Plattner campaign advisors should all be fired. They should be fined. The campaign should end. They're that sickening and disgusting. Wow. It is so brazen, it's off the hook. I had never looked at it that close. Holy cow. Paige Cognetti, scum, no shame. That is scum. And she's proud of that commercial. And she's running at it, smiling and laughing. Phony scum. Wow. Outrageous. Lying is bad enough. We'll be back. Cordaro tells me it's 9:50. Tommy Rowe, he moved into the top 10 charts at number 10 with his hit Sweet Pea. This date, 1963, Murph tells us. And the start of World War I. You think of the stupidity of war. Now, World War II, sort of a different animal because you had supreme evil driving that train. But World War I and its commencement, some lunatic goofball kills an archduke. Fine. But then we start a World War, tens of millions dying. It's pure insanity. Unbelievable. And it started with just the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. I don't get it. I mean, so the United States is on the threshold of electing the people who have taken over by force everywhere in the world and failed and brought about misery and about 100 million deaths, the communists. And now the Democrat Party's owned by them. And that's where we are. And Paige Cognetti is a sickening, lying communist. I can't say anything good about her anymore. I never watched that commercial till just now. So she and the Mamdani and Graham Plattner people, all scum, will present that to you as though it's true. And she'll smile at the end of the spot. Sickening, sickening, sickening. Brian Hughes is in the studio, so something is happening. Brian, what do you got, man?
Yes, indeed, Bob. There's already road construction on Interstate 81 northbound between Music and the River Street exit. However, we had an accident just north of the Music exit. That's exit 180. And just a few moments ago, an injury accident right around the Avoca Airport exit. That's exit 178.
Also on north?
Also north.
Wow.
It's going to be tied up for a while.
Oh. Well, keep us up to date on that, would you?
Well, indeed.
Appreciate
I timed that out
Where's
perfectly.
Tyler?
He's on vacation. He went out to...
You're doing news and traffic duty.
Well, Paula
okay.
was doing traffic this morning. I was kind of helping her out. It was a busy morning anyway.
All right. Well, wow. So 81 north from Avoca...
Pretty much all the way to River Street's a bit jammed up, and that may be even further back as we go on until they got those accidents cleared out, because there's lane restriction already from Music to River Street.
All right.
I kind of timed that out perfectly. Just as you said, lunatic goofball. I just walked through the door. I don't know how I could have timed that out even better.
Well, you're a left winger, but you're savable. Right.
It's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Yes, it is. No, Knights of Columbus. I love you for that alone.
Okay.
Knights of Columbus. Thank you. Appreciate it. So 81 North, guys, is a disaster. And Brian will keep us up to date on it. We'll find out what's happening. He's got to do the news. He's got to rush back to the newsroom to do the news. A couple of quick things. Oh, by the way, you know what's funny? I thought this came to my pea brain the other day. The communists, which is the Democrat Party, were talking about Trump being anti-Democrat, and there'll be no more elections if Donald Trump is elected. Okay, we've already had one, and now we have another one coming, and you don't hear a word about it, do you? Like, why are they spending tens of millions of dollars in the primaries, the Democrats now, to elect nominees? Why is Page running? There's no more elections. They told us that. Of course, there's no more elections. Once Trump wins, there's no more elections. There's no more democracy. What happened? Why are they running for office when there isn't going to be an election? Very odd. Very odd. 10 o'clock on my Picardo Jewelers watch. 10 and change, actually. So it's time. We gave Brian Hughes time to get back to the newsroom. Time for the news with Brian Hughes. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Great good morning, everyone. My Picardo Jewelers watch tells me it's 10:09 a.m. here in the great Northeast this beautiful Thursday, July 23rd, year of our Lord 2026. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today thanks to John, like Philip Podhiski, Greenfield Township, William Cooner, laid a Whippany, New Jersey, but he was from Scranton, and Dorrance Daniels, Wilkes-Barre. So with history, our amazing founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order this meeting, today's meeting, the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here. So the dream game, God, I remember this, just saying that name. I'd love to know. I think it was Guy Valvano that came up with the name. And it's the annual All-Star game in Lackawanna County, but actually beyond that, because it's in Wyoming County and I think Pike County as well. In any event, because there's another great All-Star game in Luzerne County, the Unico game. But they have this All-Star game. They call it a dream game. When you're growing up as a kid who loved football and all this, you couldn't wait to play in this game. I mean, you could not wait. Could that dream ever happen? That's why it was called the dream game. And I was lucky enough to play in it. But they played it last night at Valley View Stadium, as they've been doing for a number of years. And an old high school buddy, actually knew him forever, Joe Giorgio. He's the coach of Bishop. I don't know. I can't keep up with it. I think it's Holy Cross. Is that what they call it now? Holy Cross High School. Do you know that Bulldog? See, he's of no value for anything current. But he's the coach at Holy Cross, former Bishop O'Hara. Yes. Brian Hughes says yes, Holy Cross. So he's the coach at Holy Cross High School. He was the coach for the city team, which had lost a number of games in a row. Now, I'm a city fan because that's who I played on. And we're going to have him on at 11:05. So I'm saying to Brian Hughes, I'm going, Brian, where's the sports page in the Scranton newspaper? There's no story on the... I think we're missing the sports page. They didn't cover the dream game. I tell you how horrible these newspapers are. And it isn't just, again, it's just like Paige Cognetti. Remember, they're all the same. Please remember, they're all the same. Their devotion to left-wing lunacy, their separation and detachment from fact, truth, and reality, the newspaper or Paige Cognetti, means that they don't have a clear view of what they're even doing, and they suck at what they're doing. In the case of Paige Cognetti as mayor, in the case, and school director, by the way, in the case of the Scranton newspaper, that goes for the Citizen's Voice and the Hazleton Standard Speaker, they suck at being a newspaper. They didn't cover the dream game. So I can't guess who covered the dream game. EJ covered it for us. So we have the coverage of the game. They don't have the coverage of the game. This is why I tell you, we're the only news source you could even consider relying on between the talk show hosts and the news itself. Wow. They didn't have a coverage. 36-35 is the score. I mean, it was an incredible game. I'll talk about it more next hour because EJ gave me he's got this. He goes, what statistics do you want? We covered the Dream game. The idiots at the Scranton Times didn't cover it. Now, at the same time, a blind squirrel, they have a great story about a friend of mine's daughter who is transferring from Holy Cross to the University of Massachusetts. An amazing softball player. I followed her career all through. And my buddy Tommy Galala's daughter. Friends with his father as well as Tommy, the father of Mia. So congratulations to Mia. But remember, it's not a time-sensitive story. They don't have anybody to cover anything. And then their left-wing agenda screws up what they don't cover, what they do cover, rather, after the fact. Back to the Scranton City Council meeting. And I you know what? Paige Cognetti is so disgusting. She's actually, she's approved these ads. She's approved the ads with pictures of Jeffrey Epstein in them, with pictures of the Kids for Cash judges in them, when she's the only participant in Kids for Cash through her buddy Joe Biden. Yeah. So she's sickening. Well, she might be a nice person. Well, no, she's not a nice person. She's a phony scum. After I watch that come on, I'm like, oh, this is it. Done. There's no redeeming value. So, Scranton City Council, remember we've been trying to get a pool up at Naog for kids. Now, somebody gave me the flip response. Oh, everybody's got a pool now. No, everybody doesn't have a pool. Working class parents can't afford a pool. They may not even have a house or a yard. The pool is for teenage kids to hang around and recreate and socialize. But that's no good for Paige because they use a lot of water. Her Green New Deal idiocy. So we don't have a pool, but now, and Rob O'Donnell sent me this earlier. I didn't get to comment on it, but one of the great listeners sent it in as well now to remind me of it. $2 million for phase 2 of the Naog Park Pool project. The money wasn't granted. They were looking for a grant. Somebody says, and the listener says, what happened, Paige? Yeah, you screwed up the grant. Number one. Number two, where'd the $69 million go? Where'd the $69 million in COVID money go? That's what should be reported on. I'm going to ask Brian Hughes right here on the air. Report on it. Where did the $69 million go that we were handed by the federal government for the bullspit idiocy COVID response? $69 million handed to Paige Cognetti. Oh, I know where $2 million of it went. It went to Fidelity Bank. Because the leaders of Fidelity Bank contributed to your campaign. Yeah, I know where that went. Oh, I know where another $300,000 went. It went to paint lines on crosswalks that are faded already, and you even covered them over on my street with the paving project. It's insane. Where is it? And there's supposed to be a strict accounting of that money. Strict accounting of that money. Where is it, Paige? Where's the $69 million? On that thought, we'll take a break and be back. The Rolling Stones. Murph tells us this date, 1969, that the number one hit in the UK with Honky Tonk Woman. And I only remember these very vaguely. 1967, this date, the first of 5 days of deadly rioting in Detroit. An early morning police raid on an unlicensed bar. Somebody just opened up a bar. Created a confrontation with local residents that escalated into violence. It spread into other parts of the city. 43 people, mostly black, killed. This is in the United States of America. My word. And by the way, that's what the left wants to bring back. Just evidence the George Floyd riots. So now you've got an unlicensed bar. I mean, even I am against that. My God almighty. And by the way, there was structural racism at this time. There's not even a doubt about it. There was structural racism. There was overt racism at this time. And it bubbled up, boiled up, and exploded. Mitt Romney's dad, George Romney, considered to be. And by the way, did you notice the Democrats were normal? They didn't like riots back then. They didn't foment them. They didn't excuse them. They put them down. So if it's anywhere within the range of your lifetime and you're a registered Democrat, your people were normal at one time. They really were. Not like today. Sickening. Oh, my word. All right, couple of texts I want to get to because you guys are humming on the text. Hey, Bob, speaking of non-coverage of sports or great events, the National Softball Girls League, they're having a Nanticoke this year for a week. Or they're in Nanticoke, I guess. Guys, don't do talk to text. And if you do talk to text to me, I'm not even reading this. No, I'm mad at you. I love you, but I'm mad at you. And I want to talk about what you have to say. But I'm not reading. If you're going to do talk to text and not look at it, and then I'm going to read gibberish on the air, not happening. Okay? So get it right, send it again, and maybe I'll talk about your subject. I'm as interested as you are, but not in gibberish, okay? Edit your text when you text me. Like if you got a call. That's why I don't let people bullspit on calls. We don't have time for nonsense. So call or text with proper English at 570-883-0098. All right? Do it right. Joe from Trips Park says, a shame the Scranton Times didn't cover the Dream Game. It was a nail-biter that came down to the last seconds. Huge crowd, huge part of our tradition. I know. My gosh. It's that bad. Again, they combine incompetence with lunacy, which, by the way, go together hand in hand. That's why all these left-wing cities are disasters, because they have scum running them. Somebody texts in about the papers today, the Citizen's Voice, etc. I dropped the Voice, I guess, 2 years ago when they raised their price overnight by $1. I'd been getting dissatisfied for some time before that because of their liberal attitude. Yeah. Yep. Another, the left papers like our Times Tribune stopped covering local traditions in most markets. They've gone with one-size-fits-all script that won't allow them to control or even notice local events or news. They are all for one purpose, the left machine. Ridiculous. Somebody on the where'd the $69 million go? Paige Cagnetti, who can't remember, by the way, has responded by giving out numbers and saying go to the webpage to see where the money is. But she hasn't said where the interest off that much money has been made or where that has gone, says Lee. Yep. Another. And by the way, you're spot on. I'll bet you a large chunk of the money went to consultants and consultants of consultants who are now donating to her campaign. Yep. Paige Cognetti's personal old boy network. You give her money, she will take care of you. You be an oppressed minority, she will take care of you. but not the city she's responsible for. Somebody texted, Bob, why doesn't Rob Bresnahan call her out on these lies? He doesn't have the money. His campaign does not have the money. Paige Cognetti spent $8.5 million. Let me be accurate. $8.5 million on her behalf, running negative lies against Rob Bresnahan. It should outrage you. Anyway, the listener continues, I support him. I like him. He has done good things for our area. He should be adamant about Cognetti's awful, rampant lies. Get mad and call her out. She is disgusting. LTS. LTS back at you. Somebody else texts in, the city of Scranton's general operating budget is approximately $113 million. So the government gives you over half your operating budget for the year on top of your normal budget. What do you have to show for it? Tom from Dallas. Zero, Tom. By the way, Tom, happy anniversary. He's heading to the Stegmeyer for his anniversary on my recommendation, and you're going to love it. Tom, you're going to love it. I promise you. Somebody else, Scranton Times has 2 less sections in it. It's like a flyer, and the daily newsstand prices jumped to $4. $4? No. It says 2 on the paper. Oh, my God. $4 for that junk? See, we have to get it here. We're a news station. Have to get them. I would never get it. Somebody's give those talk to texters. I hate it. I'm a talk to texter. I do it. There's no way my sausage fingers are going to be typing on a phone. But I look at it before I send it. Most of the time. Anyway. Somebody says your gibberish translator's out of town. Yeah, I know. I'm momentarily upset with one of our listeners, but I'll get over it. Send it to me after you've checked it and make sure that it's in English. The auto, the autocorrect and the talk to text are not perfect. And it obscures the meaning, and I wanted to read your text. But we didn't get there. All right. Excavator guy texts in. He says, Pittston Little League is hosting the Pennsylvania World Series tournament. Come support and check this great event out. July 27th through August 2nd. Township Little League at the Jenkins Township Field. See, now he emailed me. Did the excavator guy, and I could read it. And I read it. There we go. All right. 10:31 on my Picardo's watch. That means we've got to listen to our sponsors, and we will do so happily, and we will patronize them because they keep it all running. And reminding you, Roach Supply brings you the live stream where you can see my Camp Freedom shirt. For today's show, you go to YouTube, and I'm live. YouTube, Bob Cordaro Show, WILK. And it's done. And Roach Supply brings you that. They're the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. 75 years in business, which proves they're the premier kitchen and bath supplier. Visit roachsupply.com today, ROCHE, or go to their store in Honesdale, or go to their store, Chapman Supply, in South Abington Township, right on the main drag there, right past the notch. And they'll straighten you out and get the job done like they've been doing for 75 years. We'll be back. Our Veterans Tribute brought to you by John Basiliga and the great Basiliga Hospitality Group. I'll be partaking of their hospitality this evening and throughout the weekend, I know. The best in fine dining experiences anywhere, not just Northeast Pennsylvania. A Terra 519, downtown Scranton. You got to see the place. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. You will feel elevated just by walking in. And then for an old school take, an old world take on the same amazing dining experience, the Stegmeyer Mansion, downtown Wilkes-Barre. Coney Island lunch coming soon for something completely different. Some of the best Texas cheeseburgers and hot dogs ever. And Reagan's Ice Cream, named after his gorgeous little daughter. That's opening as well. William Cooner. We lost him July 14th. He was living in Whippany, New Jersey, but he was from Scranton. William married the love of his life in 1965. He and his wife said recently celebrated their 60th anniversary. Bill graduated from the University of Scranton with a BS in engineering. He went on to graduate with an MBA from NYU. He also earned his CPA. Bill served as a sergeant in the United States Army for all of us. He spent most of his career working for AT&T in the Submarine Systems Division. He was a self-employed CPA throughout his life. He treasured the everyday joys of life, spending time with the people he loved. He had a passion for trains, model trains, and he took great pride in creating his Christmas train displays. Some of his happiest moments were spent with his family at Lake Winola, creating memories that would be treasured forever. Bill was deeply committed to giving back and actively involved in many organizations, from the Whippanonig Library Board, the Hanover Sewer Authority, the Knights of Columbus, Our Lady of Mercy Parish Council, and others. Bill Cooner is survived by his loving wife, Marilyn Cooner, his devoted children, 4 of them, their spouses, his grandchildren, many close friends and extended family. Bill will be remembered for his unwavering devotion to family, his steadfast faith, his commitment to serving others, and the kindness and warmth he shared with everyone who knew him. His legacy of love, generosity, and community service will live in the hearts of those who were fortunate enough to know him. Veteran William Cooner. Our great honoree this hour brought to you by John Basiliga and the great Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast brought to you by the great gang at Montage Mountain, the water park. It's water park week. It's perfect weather. Today, plenty of sunshine, low humidity. The start of a stretch of dry weather, high 81. Tonight, clear, low 54. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 84, low 58. Saturday, mostly sunny. Beautiful start to the weekend, high 85, low 60. Sunday, clouds and sun with a thunderstorm around in the afternoon. 86 degrees, low 62. Listen, if it rains when you're up at Montage, you go in and you play in the arcade. It's fantastic. Then you go back when the rain's over. Monday, more humid, blend of sun and clouds, possible thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 87, low 69. And that's your weather, brought to you by the great gang at Montage Mountain and their amazing water park. The Moody Blues. Murph tells us this date, 1971. They released their album, Every Good Boy Deserves Favor. That's with a U. The Story in Your Eyes is a song he chose. July 23rd, 1971. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. We got a Mother Teresa for you, St. Teresa, but Brian Hughes is in the studio to update us on that traffic mess on 81 North. What do you got?
I don't like to get in the way of Mother Teresa. I mean, I belong to Mother Teresa Church.
Well,
in South Scranton.
you give the bad news. I usually follow Mother Teresa after the sickening Biden banner. So after the bad news you deliver, then then we'll go with St. Teresa.
We all have to play our roles. I hear you. 81 northbound's been tied up for a good portion of the last hour or so because there's road work going on between Music and River Street. But on top of that, we had a couple accidents. Good news portion of this is the first accident seems to have been cleared just north of the Music exit. Crews are still working on the second accident that happened right around the Avoca Airport exit, that mile marker 178.5. So we're seeing slowing 81 northbound from about the Pittston exit all the way to River Street. And we'll keep you posted on if there's any changes.
Before you leave, because I have to drive that way.
As do I.
So you got to give me an
it's
update
in my
before
interest
you leave.
as well, Bob.
All right, Brian Hughes, thank you very much. Yeah. Just be cautious. 81 North, the Avoca situation seems to be cleared up as he iterated, and but the patching or whatever still continues. St. Teresa, Mother Teresa for July 23rd. She says, I have never been in a war, but I have seen famine, death, and destruction. I was asking myself the other day, what do people feel when they provoke war? I don't understand it. We are all children of God. In every war, on both sides, everyone involved, everyone affected is a child of God. And see, I could not be more devoted to St. Teresa, Mother Teresa, but and more appreciative of her work. But St. Teresa, you're not acknowledging evil. Yeah, evil people are God's children also. But the mullahs in Iran are evil. There are people in this country that are evil. There are people in this country being led by evil. All that. So, but she's right. St. Teresa, she's right in the main. That's for sure. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Let's hear from our great sponsors. Then we'll come back. We want to go to the phones, 570-883-0098, and more of your texts, at least those that are decipherable. We'll be back. That's one of those songs you'll only hear here because we do the music history every day, all day. Murph gets it done. And this date, 1973, B.W. Stevenson released his hit "My Maria," and I had to listen to it. I'm happy you indulged me. I remember always with the bumpers on political shows and talk shows, they cut them off too soon. You just start to get into the song and they cut it off. So we try to play more on this program. I will guarantee you other people in radio will follow my lead for sure in any of them. But they're not going to have the music picked by Murph. He's my exclusive. So maybe they don't need to. But something came across. What the heck came across here? I had it, and I was ready to get on it. But we don't have time because the sweep hand of my watch is telling me it's going to be 11 or 10:50 in moments, which means it's time for Bloomberg Money Minute. And something I want to get to. Somebody made a comment about Republicans controlling things. Barry Manilow. This date, 1977, Murph tells us he had the #1 hit with Looks Like We Made It. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. Bill O'Reilly has, you could subscribe to him on email. I don't pay anything. It's free. And he lays out as a picture of sickening Governor Walz of Minnesota. He says, radical progressives are now entrenched in at least 15 states across the USA. The most shocking situation is happening in Minnesota. It's a nice place to visit. Now it's Loonsville. There are many good people there, but the government has gone crazy. They have 10 electoral votes. There are 3.8 million registered voters, big immigrant communities, many from Somalia. The problem with up north is political correctness and lack of perspective. Example, Governor Tim Walz. He's not a very smart man, but he's a far-left ideologue. There was a guy who was convicted of a heinous crime in Minnesota. For years, illegal immigrant from Laos abused a 10-year-old girl. The man went up for parole. Walz supported it. They let him out. Secretary of State Marco Rubio deported him as a criminal. Was Tim Walz embarrassed the feds had to protect his own citizens from child abusers? Not at all. Neither was his party. Sounds crazy, but this is where we are in 15 states. And now we have a horrible mayor who wants to destroy our entire congressional district with her left-wing lunacy. It's sickening. It actually is. And she's lying with the help of Mamdani operatives and Graham Plattner operatives. That's who runs her campaign, just so you know. That's Paige Cognetti. Disgusting. Hey, Bill in Pittston, how are you, brother?
I'm doing good. I think people should ask Paige Cognetti, is she going to give people allowances so they don't have to work? Is she going to defund the police? Is she going to eliminate private property? No more prisons, no more police. They should ask her directly.
She will vote. Well, she's just going to lie. It's actually, I'll say this. We don't have our newspapers are horrible, but let's say they did ask her. She's just going to lie anyway. I mean, her entire campaign is based on lies. The entire campaign. It's disgusting.
That's why the voters need to know they're going to get a Mongambi representative. She gets to beat Bresnahan. You're going to get somebody like the governor of Virginia. You're going to get all these snakes in the grass.
Yep.
I hope voters aren't that stupid that they're going to vote this Democrat socialist that's been set up since she came from Oregon to take this place over with her other cronies.
Yep. And when tough decisions came on the Scranton School Board, which she was appointed to, she resigned. She found a fake job with the Democrat operative, the current head of the Democrat Party. Like, she says she's not part of the machine. The head of the Democrat Party in Pennsylvania gave her a job so she wouldn't have to make any tough votes on Scranton City School Board. It's insane. Like, she's a liar and a phony. She is the machine. She's the left-wing lunatic machine.
This is all part of the plan, and the people of Pennsylvania need to wake up, or you're going to get a Democrat socialist in there,
Yep.
And she's going to ruin this Commonwealth.
Unreal. Anyway, you called for something else. Did you or no?
Well, no, it wasn't me.
Oh, okay. No, there's a message about defunding the police, and I guess that's part of the whole package. You're right.
Yeah,
right.
That's the deal.
Well, she faked that the police needed more space, even though they have their own headquarters, in order to return the favor for her campaign contributors and buy a building the city doesn't need. So not only do the police not need it because they've got their own building, but she ended up trying to rent it. She's going to compete with the taxpayers in the real estate business with their money. It's insanity. No, she's a disgrace. And when I watch this commercial, now I'm done with her. I'm even done saying she's a nice person. She's a scumbag because she's running scumbag ads. The lies I put up with. When she's putting Jeffrey Epstein into a commercial, when she's putting the judges for cash, who she agreed with the pardon that Biden gave, one of them, I'm done with her. Done. She's scum. Not interested.
She needs to address those personally. People should put her on the spot, get her in front of a camera, and pepper her with those questions, just like you're getting her. Otherwise, well, the people in this area, they see D, they vote for it, and they don't look at the issues. They look at the party, and that's one of the tragedies of.
And they
Northeastern
believe the
Pennsylvania.
lies. They believe the lies and or whatever. And then you know what? A lot of normal people stay home because they say they all suck, and that's wrong. That's just as wrong. You've got a duty to go vote against Paige Cognetti. You've got a duty to do it.
And you know what's sad when you talk to your neighbors and things, you'll tell them, do you like having all these immigrants running wild, committing rapes, just like your previous messages were talking about? I knew you were talking about the governor of Minnesota, feeling sorry for that child rapist. I mean, they don't.
By the way, who Paige Cognetti supported? Paige Cognetti supported her for vice president. Him for vice president. So they're all part of the same team, the same scum team. Yep.
This is all a plot. It's all designed by the Democrat Party, and people need to wake up.
Oh, it's designed by people a lot smarter than the Democrat Party. The Soroses,
you're
the
right.
Singhams, what is it? Whatever that blue whatever, like the Arabella Group. It's sinister billionaires who, in fact, want to destroy the country, and that's where the Democrat money comes from. That's where their spirit comes from. Thank you, Bill. Always a pleasure. 11:01 and change on my Picardo's Jewelers watch. That means it's time for the news with Brian Hughes. We'll come back. We got Joe Giorgio, the coach of the City Dream Game team that won a nail biter last night. Just something we want to revisit because you can only get it on the electronic version of the Scranton Times. They suck, so it's not in the paper. We'll be back. You know it, baby. And we're fighting it right here. Great good morning, everyone. 11:10 a.m. on my Picardo Jewelers watch. This beautiful Thursday, July 23rd, the day after the Dream Game here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man, John Basiliga, and his great Basiliga hospitality group, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today thanks to John. How important is that? Like William Cooner, Whippany, New Jersey, but he was from Scranton. Philip Podhiski, Greenfield Township, and Dorrance Daniels of Wilkes-Barre. So with history, our amazing founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle, gaveling back to order after that brief news adjournment. This meeting, today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here. Well, I've been talking since the first hour about this Dream Game. Lucky enough to participate in it about a century ago, but it was the dream of every kid. And I'm trying to remember if Guy Valvano came up with the name, but it was the dream of every kid to be able to play in this summer classic. Same thing in Luzerne County area with the Unico. And could I get picked for it? Could I be in this all-star game? And for many kids, since most don't go on to play college, it's their last game. Well, one of the coaches for the city team who brought them to victory in this nail-biter is a guy named Joe Giorgio. Now, you say, well, okay, tell us Joe Giorgio's football history. Well, Joe was just a great athlete, but he was a basketball player at Dunmore High School, a star on a championship team. And my old friend Dave Gatto, he got ill. Joe Giorgio was helping him. He became the head coach at Holy Cross High School. And now he coached the Dream Game by rotation and was part of that amazing event last night at Valley View Stadium. Joe, welcome to the Bob Cordaro Show. How are you, brother?
Good, Bob. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited for you and that this game was so fantastic for all the fans, all the players. Tell us a little bit about the game itself.
I hope the fans got their money's worth last night.
That's a guarantee.
It was a nail biter. Just being able to play in the game is an honor. 92 years of Dream Game, games in that, and just to play in it was something special. Back and forth we went. Halftime we made some adjustments, and
down 14 at half, right?
Yeah, we were down 14 at half. We gave up, I think, 2 scores in the last minute of the first half, and the kids went up. The kids went in at halftime believing that we could still win the game, and we made a few adjustments, and luckily we were able to pull it out in the end.
Joe, your quarterback, okay, where was he from?
He was from Lackawanna Trail. Tyler Jervis, he's the son of the coach up there,
mm-hmm.
and he is just he's just an unbelievable kid. He's a winner. He hates losing, and they run a wing T offense up at Trail where predominantly they're going to run the football.
Yeah.
And I think in 2 years he threw only 93 passes. So him to that last drive, we had a minute 19 to go, and we're down 7, and we're starting on our own 20. For him to make some of the plays that he made is just unbelievable.
One of the kids that is pointed out is this Mackie Lynett out of Scranton Prep, who's going to go be a lacrosse player. So he's playing his final football game, and he makes these 3 catches in the one drive.
Yeah, he was bugging me in that fourth quarter on that drive to get him in there, and finally I said, all right, I said go in there, and he made some great catches. Balls were thrown where they were supposed to be, and fortunately we were able to pull it out there.
Now one of them was a 3rd down, 27-yard reception. And then there was an 8-yard touchdown pass on 4th down, Joe, with 4.6 seconds remaining. Oh my God!
It was unbelievable. Again, Tyler put the ball right where it had to be. Mackie made a great catch. The line held up, and fortunately we were able to get it done.
And it was basically on the goal line. He broke the plane and nothing more.
Yeah. Well. We had talked about it too. I said once we score, I said we're going for two. I said I'm not settling for no tie here and going into overtime. It was just exciting to be a part of it.
Joe, here's the other part that I found so impressive, and I'm so disappointed I missed it. There was 7,100 people at the game. That place had to be rocking and rolling up at Valley View at John Hennes Stadium.
Yeah, it was. It was absolutely crazy. Once Mackie caught the 2-point conversion, it was just crazy. I couldn't even. I was trying. The kids ran out onto the field, and I was trying to control them. We ended up getting a 15-yard penalty on it, but. They couldn't hear it, and 18-year-old kids are just so excited.
That's a hell of a way to finish a career for a lot of these kids. Joe, for you, coming from a basketball tradition, but being able to shepherd a team with a lot of X's and O's. There was a lot of X's and O's. A lot of coaching went into this victory.
Yeah, it did. It did. I mean, football was always a love of mine, and as you know, I mean, I was 155 pounds, I think, my senior year. But football was always my love. I wish I had played it, but I always followed the sport. Us being classmates too. I mean, we had some great athletes back then, and I said, let them do all that stuff. I'll just stick to the basketball.
And you did pretty well at that. Championship basketball team had done more that year. But so Joe, who was the coach of the county team?
It was Jeff Arthur from Carbondale.
Okay.
And a shout out to him too, because he did a great job with those kids too. He didn't have a lot of linemen up front. Those kids were, they play their hearts out too. And it was really, it was too bad that somebody actually had to lose that game.
Yeah, I got that, and that's a trite statement. But when you look at and analyze the game, you have to say that. You wish nobody lost.
Yeah. That's. I'm just glad it ended the way it did. But there was no chance we were going for the tie there, and I just wanted to put everybody out of their misery there. Let's get it over with right here.
You talk. I mean, the amount of fans for this early in the football season. That's an old school dream game crowd. Really is. Yeah,
I think high school football in this area, as you well know, I mean, it's just so big, and we've gone 6-7 months now without it, and people are just dying to get out there and watch some high school football, and it was a great crowd. Lions Club does a great job, with the whole event and everything, and so hats off to them.
Amazing stuff. How many of your kids, if you know, how many of your kids are going on to play in college after this game?
There's probably we had a roster of 35, so I'd say probably anywhere from maybe 15 to 20 kids are playing in college.
Interesting, and I'm sure comparable
Yeah.
number on the opposite side.
Yeah.
But for those who aren't, and even those who are, you're not going to recapture the excitement of local high school football. I could speak as somebody who went on to play college. You're not going to
Right.
recapture the excitement or this game, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, you've played high school football, you've played college football. It's two different worlds, really. Um, there's nothing like playing a high school football game. Playing with kids that you've played with since you're 7, 8 years old, or playing against since you're that age. And for one last time, to go out in a game like that I think it's really special.
92nd Scranton Lions Club Dream Game won by the City Squad, 36-35, capping it off with a 2-point conversion to win the game. Amazing stuff. Coach Joe Giorgio, hey, good luck with Holy Cross this year. Tell me, how many kids you got? Because that's always the battle.
Yeah, that's always a struggle for us. I'm used to coaching. If we get 25 kids on our roster, it's a good season for us. So I'm going to be spoiled after having a roster of 35 for the last
and all of them
2 weeks.
All of them players.
Yeah.
There's no cookies
Right.
in that gang. Oh,
No.
well,
No.
Joe, this has to be a great part of your coaching career.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you had to have learned a lot that you're going to bring to the Holy Cross kids.
Yeah, we will. We will do so. I wish we had, some of the talent that we had there, but hey, the kids up there, they play it for the love of the game, and I give them all the credit in the world.
Amen. Joe Giorgio, coach of Holy Cross High School and the winning coach of the City Dream Game team with a 2-point conversion at the very last minute. Thank you, Joe, for coming on. Appreciate it, man.
Bob, thanks for having me. Take care.
All right, brother. We'll take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return. Did you guys know the words to this song? I did not. But July 23rd, 1988, Murph tells us Def Leppard moved up to number 2 with their hit Pour Some Sugar on Me. I had no idea. I had zero idea. And before that in the history, and I'm happy that the Bulldog found this. You guys may not remember. I know I do. Vanessa Williams, she was gorgeous. But she became the first Miss America to resign her title. There were nude photographs taken of her 2 years previous that the odious, what was his name? The Flint, published in Penthouse magazine, and she had to resign. What a different era. Now you can have pictures posted of you when you were a man and still hold the Miss America title. Wow, have we descended in this country. And by the way, I never thought, even then, contemporaneous, I never thought she should have been stripped of the title. I thought, well, so what? And back then, amazing. Oh, so somebody had texted this in. A lot of postscripts on the game and on the Dream game. Bob, I played in the Dream game. I watched it last night and couldn't believe what they did with the new rules and all the penalties. People in the stands and even the coaches were going crazy. The kids deserve something better. Has to be addressed, says Lee. Somebody else, they said, speaking of the Dream game, I was there last night. Once again, it was ruined by a referee that cannot see. Maybe his wife or somebody should take him to get glasses because he totally blew that play at the end of the game. It was not a touchdown. It was right there. A blind man could have seen that for 50 yards. So some controversy 50 yards away. I think they need to put instant replay at least for touchdowns in high school football. Well, remember, we have Steve Zayak come on a lot about how we need officials. So maybe some of you guys listening could step up and become those officials. Another listener, that 2-point conversion was no good. I was right there. The referee must have been paid off or something. Another, Joe, meaning referencing Joe Giorgio, he won by the referee. The referee won the game for him. The 2-point conversion was no good. Bob, another one. Bob, disappointed you or the coach didn't talk about all the dumb penalties and the county actually falling on the onside kick. Both sides were, and I don't know where this text ends. Oh, confused, angry, and just in awe at how it ended, especially when they called off the interception from upstairs, which would have made the county win. I was rooting and playing for the city way back. So in other words, another text in, and the 2-point conversion was no good. And another, nobody cares that the referees messed the game up. The kid wasn't in by a mile. It was a horrible call. Well, okay. But listen, I used to get angry at officials. And then I realized, look at the coaches and the players are making the same amount of mistakes. So what? It's part of the game. And you live with it. And you die with it. So I know what you mean, though. Now, somebody else point this out, and I had Joe Giorgio let us know. Ryan Mecca was a kid on the Dunmore team, or the city team. And his father was Charles Mecca, who played in the game years ago and passed away a couple of years ago, sadly. His grandfather, Sal, chief of police in Dunmore, former chief of police, my buddy Sal. So you had 3 generations of kids who played in the Dream game with Charlie Mecca's son, Ryan, the latest. How about that? See, that's there. Now, there's something to talk about, more so than a bad call. I hope you listeners agree with me. But I'm happy you're passionate about the game, too. That's great. I mean, 7,100. We had about between 12 and 14,000 at a championship game. We played against GAR in 1978. It was also televised live. And so, I mean, that's an amazing crowd, 7,100 in this day and age. What a great job of the Dunmore Lions Club. or Scranton Lions Club. They've been doing it forever, and they pulled it off again in amazing fashion. And the game was exciting. Let's not focus on the calls. Look at, we lost the Dream game when I was in. We didn't have great coaching. It's just what it was. But you don't remember. Like, I'm not bitter about that. I'm bitter about high school games I lost and still think about them, but certainly not the Dream game. The excitement of the game, the size of the crowd, those things you can't detract from them. And then a tradition of 3 generations in the Dream game is amazing. That's all the good stuff. All right, 9:30 or 11:32 on my Picardo Jewelers watch. Let's hear from our sponsors. We'll come back and we will do our Veterans Tribute, the weather, and then you, if you choose, 570-883-0098 to call or to text. Our Veterans Tribute brought to you, as always, by our man John Basiliga. It being a Thursday, that means we emphasize and talk about one of his great companies, Basiliga Hospitality Group, because these are the places I'll be going this weekend. And if you're looking for fun and you're looking for quality, you're looking for value, you will too. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. 2 different bars, dining area. The place is fabulous. It just is. And there's more to come. And it's great event space. The Far Street Tavern on Far Street in the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton. I was there last week. Awesome. The Queen City Tavern. That's where I'm meeting my man Wayne from Einan. Downtown Oliphant, right on the main drag. The place is beautiful. The food is great. The service, the whole package. Fine dining, yep, we got that. The Stegmeyer Mansion, downtown Wilkes-Barre. It's an amazing old world take on a top shelf dining experience. Tom from Dallas is going there. He'll check it out. He'll be pleased. And then a Terra 519, where I'll be, as always, this weekend. Great happy hour. New menu, new chef, the whole package is just ideal. A Terra 519 Linden Street, Scranton. And guess what? Sergey's is open tonight with no cover. The nightclub in Northeast Pennsylvania. Dorrance Daniels. We lost him July 16th. Born in Wilkes-Barre, a graduate of Myers High School. After trying his hand at becoming a professional baseball pitcher, he served from March 57 to March of 1959 on the Krishna in the United States Navy and earned the rank of third-class storekeeper. Following his honorable discharge from the Navy, he returned home to Wilkes-Barre, where he worked as a baker at the Old River Road Bakery. Eventually, he went on to Certainteed Fiberglass, from which he retired after 31 years. Dorrance's work life is only a small part of his story. As a lifelong Christian, Dorrance read his Bible daily and was an active member of St. Clement, St. Peter Episcopal Church as long as he was able. His love of music led him to many activities. He joined the Masonic Lodge and rose through the degrees to allow him to join the Iram Shrine. He thoroughly loved being a Shriner and playing in their string band, including going to Virginia Beach for the Shriners convention every year and volunteering at the annual circus. Beginning in 1981, Dorrance discovered another passion at which he excelled, acting. He performed in many shows, primarily at the Music Box Dinner Playhouse in Sawyerville. Oh, that is great. His favorite role was in Camelot as Old King Pellinore. In later years, he even named one of his beloved lovebirds Pelly in his honor. He also co-starred in the production of God and the Ghost of Woody Guthrie, in which he played the ghost. For the last 26 years or so of his life, Dorrance pursued a love and passion for singing, especially going out to karaoke 2 to 3 nights a week. He can be found at area bars singing Sinatra, his favorite, Willie Nelson, duets, and more. How great. Dorrance is preceded in death by his parents, his brother Jack Daniels, his beloved wife Lucina, with whom he shared 40 years of marriage. He's survived by his sons, his daughter. He's also survived by his granddaughters and other family members. Singer and actor Dorrance Daniels, our veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and the Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast brought to you by the great gang at Montage Mountain Resort that says this is the week to come because the weather's perfect. Today, plenty of sunshine with low humidity, the start of a stretch of dry weather, high 81. Perfect day for the water park. Tonight, clear, low 54. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 84, low 58. Perfect on a Friday. Saturday, mostly sunny. Beautiful start to the weekend, although I start my weekends on Thursdays, sometime Wednesdays. High 85, low 60. Sunday, clouds and sun with a thunderstorm around the afternoon. High 86, low 62. Sunday, more humid, blend of sun and clouds. Thunderstorm possible in the afternoon. High 87, low 69. And that's your weather. This is the week for the water park at Montage, where it's 71 degrees right now. July 23rd, 1989, Ringo Starr launched his first tour since the Beatles with a show in Dallas, Texas, Murph tells us. Billed as Ringo Starr and his all-star band featuring, now listen to this lineup, Joe Walsh on guitar, Billy Preston on keyboard, Clarence Clemens on sax, Lee Von Helm and Rick Danko of the band were there. They started off the show with a Don't Come Easy, one of my favorite songs. Ringo Starr, and Murph lays it out for us, baby. Well, laying us out an update on the traffic before we take off here. Brian Hughes, what do you got on 81 North?
Well, it's sort of a good news, bad news thing. The good news is it seems the multi-vehicle accident has been cleared up on 81 North because there was a few accidents between the Avoca exit and just north of Music. The bad news is they're still doing road work until around 3 this afternoon on 81 northbound from Music to River Street. So expect some delays for the next few hours because of that road work. Hopefully, maybe they'll finish up a little bit early. Best bet, alternate route-wise, you can take the Pennsylvania Turnpike northbound or 315 to Route 11, kind of go through Scranton, get a little north of River Street, and hop on 81 there.
Well, that's not good news for me because when the show's over, I'm off like a prom dress, and that means the traffic is going to be okay.
That's visual imagery. I don't know if I want to handle it.
Well, thanks for the update, my friend.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Brian Hughes in the studio with the traffic update in 81 North, looking a little rough in Lackawanna County. Quickly, before we go to break, and then I've got a call I need to take. Truth bomb. This just got sent to me by JB. Trump was indicted for pressuring Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to investigate election integrity in his state. 5 years later, Georgia admits they illegally certified 315,000 ballots in the 2020 election, and Biden won by 11,779 votes. 315,000 illegally certified votes. Dear Lord. I'm telling you can't make it up. I tell you this about Trump. As goofy as he could be, he always ends up right. The media will never acknowledge this fact because they crucify him when he makes these charges. Like my wires were tapped. Well, he's not a terribly articulate guy. My wires were tapped. Well, yeah, they were. They did spy on your campaign. And I could go through the list. Fascinating. Georgia. Amazing. All right, let's take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. Let's hear from our great sponsors. And I'm hoping my man Ray from Mountaintop can hang on because I want to talk to him. But let's do the spots, and we'll come back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. This should be the theme song at Montage Water Park. This is not a Murph song. We needed an extra. And I said, Summer Wind by Sinatra. Why not, right? Well, here comes the Sinatra of callers, Ray from Mountaintop. Ray, how are you, man?
Oh, Robert, thank you for taking my call. You are a beautiful sunshiny day, and that's what we've got today. I want to talk to you about something. I think Pete Clemenza had it right. They should have stopped that guy in Munich.
Yep.
He was talking, of course, about Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk about Comrade Cognetti. Comrade Cognetti. That's what we need to call her, Comrade Cognetti, because those people want to take away the Senate, take away the president, destroy our way of life. She will be either a participant or completely duped, but either way, she is a mortal threat and cannot be elected.
Yep.
I will tell every person in northeastern Pennsylvania, all of our wonderful Jewish friends, understand what the Democrat Party wants to do. I would say for those people that are concerned about affordability, the people that came here for the soccer tournament were amazed at how much stuff there was in American stores, in American places where you could buy things, in restaurants, the abundance of our society. In the Eastern European countries and all the socialist countries, the difference between their grocery stores and ours is theirs are empty. The people starve. That's what you get from socialism when you run out of other people's money. These people are a mortal threat. And Comrade Cognetti, ask yourself the question, what are the things I can change and what are the things I can't? And one of the things that every one of us who are senior citizens and love our grandchildren can change is find one person, not a lot, one person who may vote for Comrade Cognetti and convince them, don't do it.
Yes.
It is a mortal threat to our grandchildren. They are communists. They're out in the open, and that is a mortal threat to our country.
Amen. Amen. And she's in on all of it, and she's a scummy liar on top of all that. Thank you, as always, my man Ray. Hey, we're finishing with what we started with, American Band, because on this date, 1973, Murph tells us they released this amazing song. We're an American band, and you know what? That's exactly what we are. What's happening, Fred in West Pittston? How you doing?
How you doing, Bob? 4 states here. Mark Wayne Mullen found 250,000 votes. California, Jersey, Nevada, and Pennsylvania. 14,500 votes they found in Pennsylvania. Non-citizens registered to vote.
Unbelievable. It's
Right,
unbelievable.
right
And
here,
they don't
Bob.
care. And they don't care. And that's what I was talking about yesterday. Because they want to cheat. Period.
Right. And Stacey Garrity should go right to Shapiro about this, Bob. Right to Shapiro.
Amazing
Yeah.
stuff.
Thanks,
You're
Bob.
right, brother. And the election in 2020 was beyond crooked. And now some of you take issue with me because I say we can't prove it was stolen. We can't prove it. We can prove that major, concerted, and coordinated efforts were made to steal it. We can promise you that is being done everywhere there are mail-in ballots. But we cannot prove it made a difference. I believe it did, but my beliefs are not proof. But if that isn't enough for you, that means you want to cheat. And the Democrat Party wants to cheat because they know they suck. That's why. Hey, thanks to Roach Supply. Premier bath and kitchen gang in Northeast Pennsylvania. 75 years in business because they're great. You go to their stores in Honesdale or South Abington Township, which is called Chapman Supply, or you go to roachsupply.com, R-O-C-H-E. Ron Roach, 96, on top of the action. Love it. I just ran into Todd Bailey. He told me Ron is 96. Amazing. And a veteran, by the way. Well, Grand Funk will take us out, and they're going to start taking us into some of these shows. We're going to try a couple other songs. Tomorrow, we're going to try on our open. We're going to try one of my other favorites, Sam and Dave. Hold on, I'm coming, because I am. A lot of texts I'm not going to get to, unfortunately. Don't. If you have a chance, text me again tomorrow, and we'll get to them. Thank you, guys. 12 o'clock on my Ricardo's Watch. That means I have to go. Best of Sue Henry next. Rob O'Donnell show after that. But for now, we must adjourn today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense. We are adjourned.